quite an operation. I have to cut them into length, I have to over-length them, and then I have to bring them in, then I have to tune them in, and this will make this act like it's one door. It's guaranteed to, actually. So I'm really fascinated to be able to get to do this.
But in the way this works, this has a little part that attaches, and you don't want this to turn with the micrometer head. You want the rod to stay stationary. Here it is. This is the Cary dial indicator I was telling you about. And this is the indicator that goes on the left side of the comparator. Anybody who's working like in an indoor clean environment, but they're doing, they're cutting, polishing, they're doing something like with a rotary tool.
Yeah, anywhere where they're creating grit and grime and little fragments and fibers and.
See, in our case, that'd be a detriment to our environment.
Hello and welcome back. This is Shop Adventures 34. I'm Lance.
And I'm Patrick.
All right. Well, we got some shout outs and some stickers, don't we?
Yes.
John Bear, what a nice guy. He did a little cover lesson from your last video we did, I guess. So on Stare It.
Oh, great. That's right. That's right.
And you got stickers to open.
Oh, yeah.
John Bear's a nice guy, by the way. He's got a nice channel, nice YouTube channel. We'll put a link below. Okay, a little note here. These are from Rhode Island. Stickers all the way from Rhode Island. This is really nice. What do they say?
Nice stickers, by the way.
It's from John.
Through the bulkhead.
Oh, yeah, he's got a cool channel. He's really having fun.
Yeah, Adventures in Machining. I like that.
It is Adventures. Nice channel. Go check it out. Thank you very much.
Oh, and just really quick, nice Stare It pocket card, and one nice one from, God, this one looks a little older, brown and sharp. Nice little building on the back. I like that. And this is a decimal equivalence chart.
Depends on how he sells it. He sold that one better than the other one.
No, thank you, John.
Well, if everybody remembers, we had a contest last week. Can you vote and help us pick the color of felt?
All right.
Remember that?
I have them right here.
We did. This box has been re-oiled and finished. This was a tribute to our woodworking buddies. I did the best I could. Hope you like it.
This finish came out really good.
It's really shiny. It's just shinier probably in person, but it's really nice. I tried. This is what the Cary goes in. And those were the felt choices you guys made, and a lot of you voted, huh?
Yeah, so you get the black and the green. And see, Lance and I, we couldn't decide. No. So we put it up to you guys to vote.
Totally up to you.
And we were surprised, really. Yeah. We are so thankful to get so many responses.
Yep, so the winning color was green felt. I already did the job as I promised we would. So it's done. Yeah. It's all glued in there really nice. I hope you like it. It's all cleaned up and ready to take its Cary Comparator back in here.
That's right.
Okay, well, the vote was a lot of votes. I was shocked for a newbie channel as we are.
That's right. The total was 30 votes.
But it was 22 to 8. 22 green.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Unbelievable. And
really
you know
nice.
What? Honestly, we didn't have a personal preference. We just couldn't decide. And we know the pros and cons of each.
And they'll be involved more in the future because we really count on that from the community. So we will let you guys in on more of decision making.
Yeah, definitely.
We're loving it. It's always just been him and I. Let's do this. Okay. Well, coming up this week, I shared putting in a commercial door seal on a double doors commercial seal. It's going to be kind of something neat to watch.
Yeah, that's really going to save our little workshop.
Oh, so boy. Welcome to the desert, and this is some of what you go through. And Patrick, the rest was all on you. You were the busy bee here this week.
Oh, yeah. Well, I give an update on our truck restores. We have 24 trucks we're restoring, and give a little status update on that. The next thing is you gave me all the parts to the Cary Comparator.
I've stabilized its corrosion issues. And
you reblued some parts.
Yeah, it's going to get a little prettier than it was.
So the parts, everything looks great, but now it's in my hands, so it's now my responsibility to reassemble it and do the servicing on the dial indicator, which I share a little bit on that too.
That thing's got some small parts, I'll say that.
But the most important thing is I finally start the work on the Cyclone. the little vacuum Cyclone that we're adding to our existing vacuum cleaner.
It would be like the world's smallest woodworkers vacuum.
Oh yeah,
Cyclone style. The outside the buildings of Cyclones, yeah. They're pretty funny.
Exactly. And I don't want to give away too much. No. All I'll say is it was a successful project. We're really happy with the performance. It really worked out well.
That was really well.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's coming up this week? Well, we could have a lot of things coming up, but let me give you a few of them. I made a promise to a fellow YouTuber, and I'm going to hold that promise, and Pat's worked on a special video for us. That's all I'm going to say. It's me, when I was 20 years old, inside of a machine shop of CNC machines with my father.
Yeah.
And I'm going to narrate one and do a regular one. We're going to do two, and we're going to share them, but come out the end of the week. It has nothing to do with shop adventures.
And this is from the early 80s.
This is 1980-81. Yeah.
Right, so yeah, this is really fascinating. What a great find.
Yeah, we're lucky to find this video. That's really good. I'm going to give a lesson on how to polish plastic, acrylic by hand.
Right, that should be really neat.
When it's too sharp cornered and too detailed, when you can't use any kind of machinery or tools, we're really a lot of handwork here.
Yeah, especially on little intricate parts where you have to work it by hand, and you share that process.
Yeah, and then I'm going to share some 5C, the 5C in Spindexer painting this week too, the two-pirate proxy.
Oh, that should be a neat little
I'm gonna
segment.
have a busy week.
Yeah, you are gonna have.
Plus,
a busy
I'm working
week.
on the grinding hut siding.
That's right.
Holy moly! All right.
Finally, you get to work.
Yeah, thanks. See, that's how it is. Of course, it's getting to be summer. Right, that's it. That's all we got. Let's get on the show. We got a lot to show this week, so let's get on.
Oh, we did. We had a busy week.
Oh, yeah. Come on, come follow along. Let's go have some fun, shall we? Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we're out in front of the workshop, and Lance is going to update you on a problem we identified earlier.
Well, howdy, hi-ho. How you doing today? Okay, we are outside, and how you'll always know we're outside is Mr. Lance is wearing his farmer boy here, overalls. So anytime we're wearing our overalls, we're outside doing construction work, living in the desert. I'm about to explain why. For new viewers, you understand, when you see a white coat on us, white short sleeve coat with a pocket, that's the workshop. If you see a blue one, that's the machine shop. And if you see the new gray ones that we're not sharing yet because we haven't moved in there, that would be for the grinding hut, which was the finishing shop, but that got a new name from one of our darling friends and viewers.
But we like the name.
We do. Okay, so I have you here at these double doors because I have talked about the seal problem. Living in the desert it has its pluses, as Patrick points out, huh, Patrick? And it has its minuses.
That's right.
And those pluses are pretty positive ones for when you're doing micro machining and you're trying to build a watchmaker style machine shop museum thing. Is that right? Because what is the one big thing we don't get, Patrick?
We don't get rust.
No flash rust.
Yeah, no flash rust.
I don't think you get flash rust if I left the faucet running or the hose running. You never seen anything till you've been in the desert and you put water on the ground or something, or even on the dirt, even if it rains. An hour after it quits raining, you'd never know there was rain at all.
That's right.
Zero. It's the most amazing thing you ever saw. Also, there's no such thing as a mold in the desert. I don't think if I let water run inside the walls for the rest of my life, they would ever materialize into mold. It's just too arid here. We're almost 4%, usually 0 to 10%. I shouldn't say 0. There's no such thing. 4%.
Yeah, so two really good positives.
Yes.
But with all positives
comes negatives.
Yeah.
God, it's like a relationship, isn't it? Got your positives and your negatives. Well, hopefully the positives outweigh the negatives for those people that do all that dating and marriage stuff there. This is a door seal I've talked about and it said we'd be sharing, and I wanted to share it because it's really important to me. These double doors you see here, double doors, anybody who's ever installed these knows I put these in about 2 years ago, and before I did the siding, or as I did the siding here. This is James Harding concrete siding, concrete fiber, and this is PCB. Up above is PCB, and right above that is painted wood, and I just finished painting it. And then I decided, oh man, look at what is happening to our trim out here, because this is painted. I just finished painting it. It's dry now because it only takes about 15 minutes for the paint to be as dry as it is.
Oh, that's the other plus. Yeah, paint and everything.
Well, it's a negative though. You gotta paint like a crack addict.
Oh, that's true.
I said, but then it's done, and you gotta get your tape off pretty reasonably fast. Don't let the sun touch it.
Right.
It's just terrible. So this is my door seal. So the double doors we put in. This is the color we use on all external doors. It's basically a metal aluminum color gray, right, Patrick?
Right.
We use it here. We use it in the maintenance property repair shop over there, the 240 square footer. We use it on the roll-up door here for the machine shop. That's that same basic color. And we painted these doors, and then we got one more door to still paint around here, and that's the grinding huts door. Will have that same gray paint on it. That's actually an industrial grade door there. That's from an industrial park style door. That's solid. That's a steel door with steel frame. It's perfect for the desert, by the way. Spring-loaded hinges, the whole shebang. It's really, really nice. I just wanted to point that door out. I'm real proud of my little grinding hut. So, okay, let's get into this. So what we get here is we get 30 to 60 mile an hour winds on a regular basis. We have a wooden fence around here to prove that to you. You shouldn't have wooden fences in the desert, but that's what came with this place. Also, the paint can't take it, okay? There's no such thing as painting. So the only thing that's painted around here is these doors, and this coating's fine. I just finished this one today. It was all peeling off. And you get this cyclone effect in here because of the house and the shed thing. See the finger going around? Cyclone. The wind blows here, the dirt gets here. You can just see the dirt build up. See, look at how's the dirt get up under here.
Right.
You see it? If you can see it, but you can kind of see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this seal that, see, this is what comes with your door, and this goes closer, just so you know. I just have it loose because it's wet painted. I want it to dry.
Right.
And this is my seal kit. This is an industrial grade seal kit, not the kind you typically see on your home. And the way these work, they're really neat. You got to cut them to length. They're a little longer than what we need, about a foot longer. What you do is we mount these two, one on each door, and they come in very close together with felt here. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then they're really elaborate, and these are really something. Then and this is a two-phase system we're doing. Then this is a crank. You turn these quarter turns, half turns, three-quarter, full turns, and these adjust. They bring in these in or out. They come to you about 50% open, 50% closed. So you can go in or out, and until you get the kind of felt rub you want. Remember, in our case, I'm going to make it really firm because we only open this door to receive or to remove bigger machinery and tooling as it's necessary.
That's right,
Patrick? This is Patrick's precious room, and he wanted these doors with, if you wonder why we don't have industrial grade outswinging doors, these are outswinging. If you're wondering why we have them with windows, it's because we love natural lighting in watchmaking.
Yeah.
It's really, really critical that the lighting, you already have enough visual problems. The light and natural lighting really is important. So these two extra windows just add more to the room. It's just got big windows.
And we really like these doors because they have the internal blinds.
Oh, he just loves those.
You know, I love those.
Especially with the dust in the desert and all that. But there's no dust in there anyway, but they would go make that noise when you open and close them to bring in tools or what have you.
Right.
So I'm going to finish putting the seal on the door. This is only phase one. Can I do it really quick and just share phase two?
Oh, real quick. Yeah, the reason why we're doing this because, you know, no door seal is perfect. So we are getting a little leakage with dust.
Just dust.
Fine particles. Like, 'cause in the desert, we have really fine dust.
And that wind hitting this corner in the cyclone is a disaster.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. You're right. That's a good point. Why the hell is he putting that down? It's quite an operation. I have to cut them into length. I have to over-length them, and then I have to bring them in, then I have to tune them in, and this will make this act like it's one door. It's guaranteed to, actually. So I'm really fascinated to be able to get to do this. It's only phase one. Phase two is going to come. It's going to take about the next 3 months or so. Of course, it's summertime. Why not go out and play in the yard? You know, it's only going to be 100. July gets only about 114. So,
well, not here. We're a little cooler than Palm Springs.
Yeah, they're 121. So
yeah, so if they're 120, we're about 110.
Yeah, right in there.
108.
We're always 10, 15 degrees.
10 to 12, yeah.
And Palm Springs is about 42 miles to our west, I believe.
We used to live in Palm
Southwest.
Springs for 15 years.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, those summers were harsh.
Yeah. That's a place we're glad we moved away from. What a nutty world that place is. Okay. Anyways, that's what I'm going to do. The second phase, I'm going to mount these special brackets, and I'm going to have you back, and it's going to be over time, but I just like to share, like, this is what this is. This is Shop Adventures. Whatever we have to do, we have to do. The Cyclone's the word of the week, by the way, because Patrick's going to do something with a thing called a cyclone in this same show.
That's right. Tomorrow, that's my little project.
Yeah, he is. So I'm going to build some kind of concocted frame here. It's going to look extremely industrial because I'm really going to rush out of the industrial look. I grew up in it, I know it, and I just enjoy living my life with it. So does Patrick. So we like that look, we like that ruggedness, and we got a way to get this doors to ever have a problem again until it has a patio out here one day, but we can't get everything done. So I'm going to build something, and it's going to get some special doors in front of these doors, and it's going to be really neat, and I'm going to bring you along on the journey because I think it was a neat creation and it'll be fun to share with you. All right, little conversation from me first, and we're going to lead in and talk to Patrick and have a little discussion about the Cary and our progress here about all this reassembly here. So, bark, bark, bark. Why you need to bring in more trucks? I need more trucks. Oh, you know what? I said, you threw that Cary at me. That's fine. So what I did is stayed up all night the other day, and I got that Cary done, didn't I?
Oh yeah, he did. And he also delivered a lot of chucks.
Yeah, he got some chucks to do too.
Okay, if you remember last week, he delivered 7 chucks. And I said, oh, that's great. I assembled them, and those are out of the way. Okay, well, this week, he gave me 9 chucks. So, and he gave them to me, a day or two ago. So I already assembled 3 of them, which are here. There's a little 3-jaw chuck. There's 11 4-jaw chuck. And then one of my favorites, which is the Lennon 4-jaw chuck.
This one was a real joy to do, by the way. That's what 5 hours worth of work looks like right there, and that's before he assembles it.
My little key. Oh yeah.
He just loves. I even reworked the key.
Yeah. So 3 done. So I've got. Let's see. Okay, so I got 3 done. That makes 6 more to go, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So. Yeah, so I should have that done. My goal is to get these done today. And then that will make 16 chucks completed, and that leaves us with 8 more.
Oh, yeah, that's on the downhill side of this one.
We're almost there. So good news. Okay, now to the Cary. This is the bent micrometer comparator. That's a mouthful. And first thing, before I talk about this, I thought I would share with you one of the things I do. Especially when I'm disassembling a tool that I've never disassembled before. What I do is, when I disassemble it, the first thing I do is I try to lay out the parts really nicely. I try to group the parts where the fasteners are grouped with the parts. Like this is a little table. So this table goes onto this part. These screws are to hold this down. So it's all grouped. Okay? And when I do that, after I'm done disassembling it, I take a photo of it, which I did here.
This is actually a really important lesson here.
Yeah.
And not only does it make sure he kind of sees all the parts that are there and which way they kind of go together with the other mating parts. The other thing it does is it confirms that if a part's missing, that it was missing either before I got it or after I got it.
Right. Exactly, because that's the first thing I do. See, so after I take the photo, I can see what's nice about the photo is I don't have to keep all these parts separated. I can now just grab them all, put them in trays, give the trays to Lance. Lance can work on them any way he wants, in any order. He can mix and match them, put all the screws together, and not have to worry about keeping them grouped. So once he gives them to me, I grab all the parts, lay them back out, and I try and match the arrangement just like the photo I took. And like Lance said, the first thing is I can quickly identify if we have any missing parts right away. And that's really important because, if we do have like a missing little screw or something, which it does happen occasionally, sometimes a little part, makes its way underneath the towel of the tray, or Lance left the little part, at one of the tables he was working on. Any number of things. And it's really important to find that part as soon as possible because, in the past we've, it's lesson learned where, we would just, have these trays sit for a week or two. Then we'd find out, 2 or 3 weeks later that, hey, there's a part missing. But the problem is trying to find that part after such a long time has gone by is almost impossible because, the trash has already been emptied. In case a part made into the trash. The trash man has already collected the trash. So too much time has gone by. So it's really important to be able to identify any missing parts as soon as possible.
So when I work on any one of these tools, just one chuck at a time, each one has its own trash bag. Each trash bag it usually ends up with about 75 to 100 of those double-ended cotton swab units in different diameters, different lengths, the whole shebang. And
yeah,
Scotch-Brite and the little cotton squares we use to keep them polished. The reason is that those little itty-bitty tiny screws and things, they get lost and they get stuck in those cotton things and they get stuck in
They
the
do.
Scotch-Brite. They really do. And some of these parts on this table, just so you know, are as small as the machine parts we've been making forever. For once, that's a tool that actually has machine tool parts that we're familiar with.
Yes.
Size-wise, I mean, we didn't make any Cary parts.
No, exactly. So that's really important. And the other thing where it helps, especially like I mentioned, I've never disassembled a tool like this. See, unlike a Levin accessory, I know them, backwards and forwards. I can, but this, I'm not familiar with it. So what this allows me to do is it really helps, or it helps me in the assembly process, because now that everything's grouped, I don't have to try to match the fastener with the part. Everything's laid out for much easier assembly. Okay, so just a couple of things we want to share. Okay, there is one part missing here before I get into another detail. A part we haven't shown you yet is the dial indicator that actually attaches to this side. So you've got the micrometer head that installs on this side, and at the other end you've got the dial indicator. And we'll show you why it works like that once it's all assembled and working. Okay, but the reason why you haven't seen it is because I've been working on it. One of the problems with any dial indicator or test indicator that's been sitting for a long time, the oils and greases harden in there, and then they start, they start freezing up. They're no longer smooth. So you've got no choice but to do a full service on them. So that's what I'm currently doing, is I'm doing a full service, disassembling all the parts, cleaning them, reassembling it, oiling the parts, and I think maybe tomorrow or later today, I'm going to show you guys the parts, just so you can get an idea what the internals look like. The other thing, I had to order a part, and okay, this is the micrometer head. Okay, this works just like a micrometer. Okay, you know how on the micrometer you have the dial that you turn on the head. Okay, and then you got your shaft. Okay, and in a typical micrometer, when you turn your micrometer head, the shaft moves with it. Okay, and that's fine in a micrometer. But in the way this works, this has a little part that attaches, and you don't want this to turn with the micrometer head. You want the rod to stay stationary. Okay, and the way they did that was at the end of this. Okay, this goes inside here, and it latches onto a little assembly. Okay, and it's really hard to tell, but there's actually a little tiny thrust bearing in there. It's so tiny, it only has 3 ball bearings in there.
Cannot see it with the eye. It requires a loop.
Well, this is how small it is. I actually took one of the ball bearings out so I could measure it. And if you see that little speck right there, that little speck is a ball bearing, and it's 0.6 millimeters in diameter. That's how small that little ball bearing is. Okay, and the reason why I have to replace all 3 ball bearings was when I started assembling this. One of the first thing I did was assemble this rod onto the micrometer head. Well, after I did that and I was turning it, of course I lubricated it and ensured it was super clean. But turning it still felt lumpy. It didn't feel super smooth like it should. So I took it to our microscope, and the little thrust bearing races are perfectly smooth and clean. But I could tell the ball bearings are corroded. And I think that's what's has to be giving me that bumpy feel that I'm feeling when I turn it. So that's the reason why I had to pop one of them out, do a measurement. And fortunately, I did find a source for these. I had to order 100, but with something so tiny, it was only a few dollars for 100. So that was really good.
I heard you got free shipping on that big package.
Free shipping included. So, yeah, and I think that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead, and it's probably gonna take a week or 2 weeks to receive these parts. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do the whole assembly get the the dial indicator reassembled, and everything will be complete with the exception of this. I'll just hold on to installing the micrometer head until the ball bearings come. And then it will be able to show it to you and demonstrate how it's used.
Oh, you got some free time then, so I can go ahead and rush you some more tools.
No.
Together.
And no, actually, this week I'm gonna also share the our little Cyclone vacuum.
Oh, that'll be neat.
Yeah, so that's a really neat little thing. So I'm really excited to work on that.
Okay, thank you, Patrick.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we are out in the workshop as promised to see Patrick about the Cary dial indicator. Some updates going to go on here and some sharing.
That's right. Yeah, here it is. This is the Cary dial indicator I was telling you about. And this is the indicator that goes on the left side of the comparator. Okay, and this is actually a 1 micron dial indicator. So it's pretty high precision. And like I mentioned, I just completed servicing the movement portion. And yeah, let me mention that really quick. I really wish that I could have shown you guys the disassembly, the ultrasonic cleaning, the reassembly, the lubrication. It was a lot of work, but I would have really loved to have shown you all the parts spread out. And Lance and I were talking, and we thought, well, we should probably let our viewers know that it's unfortunately, this is a good example that we wish we could have shown it to you guys. But we're just in a position right now where we're juggling so many things, trying to wrap up all these little projects so that we can focus on our product. So, and this is a good example where, in the very near future, when we do something like this, we'll do one of two things. We'll definitely show you more details like machining or like this, the actual process of disassembling it, assembling it, and so forth. And if it's something really intricate, and if it's a topic that we get a lot of requests for, we'll actually make it in its own educational series video. Isn't that right, Lance?
That makes good sense. Yeah, the educational pullouts. Yeah.
And that's why we're doing the educational series pullouts. This would be a good example. It's something where it would be too long to show in a Shop Adventures show where we share what we're doing for the week. And we could focus entirely on this, and it'd be very educational, and we could focus on all the little intricate details and all.
But it would be a single topic item because I know how many hours are in it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's like servicing a watch movement. A lot simpler, obviously, but the whole process is the same.
Well, I see a watch part familiarity. Can I just share it, or?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Yeah, here it is.
See there?
Yeah, what you see there, that's like a hairspring that you would see on the balance wheel on a watch.
Yeah, it looked familiar to me.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. Okay, in this case, obviously they don't have a oscillating balance. What they're using it for is to retract the probe. So see, when I hit the probe and it retracts back, that's being done through the hairspring. So that's really interesting. And what's really interesting, this was my first time actually taking apart a Cary dial indicator. I've never worked on one of these dial indicators.
Boy, look
before.
At the shiny finish on that case.
I know.
Is that a watch case?
Somebody polished it for me.
Wow, that guy's good.
But this is really funny. So here's the dial.
Yeah, it matches your mat there.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It's hiding.
Okay, so it goes in there. And when I disassembled it, two things actually was really interesting. There's 4 screws right here. Okay, these little screws. And what was really interesting is I've never seen this done before. Was the top screws, they actually poured lead in here. So in order to remove these screws, I had to get a pick and actually had to pick out the lead. I've never seen lead used in that fashion. And then finally I was able to, and so when I finally disassembled it, the other thing that was really surprising was the movement portion. I've never seen a little capsule like this in a big dial indicator. Test indicators, that's a different story because, it's a small form factor. But for a dial indicator, I had never seen it like this in a capsule, so this was really interesting.
With that big old dial on it, it was just not what you expected when you got in there. You're thinking
I went
gears and wheels and strings or something, you know.
Exactly. You look at the large side and you think, oh, there's going to be all this intricate gearing and all that. So that was really interesting. So I just wanted to share that.
That's really nice.
Okay. And
you have something more for us while we're out here, huh?
Yes. While we were here, I wanted to share something. Okay, last week we were here doing the installation of the air system and also the Bergeon bench vise. And if you remember, we mounted this plate and this vise is removable. So we just slide it on. There's a little lever on the side to lock it in place. Yeah. And really nice. Well, since we launched this this video last week, we got a couple of people who responded and told us, hey, are you aware that there's a clone of this Bergeon vise available? And I said, well, actually, I am aware of it, and I have one.
What a surprise.
So, and I wanted to share it with you guys because the Bergeon vises are really expensive. And unless you're a watchmaker, I really wouldn't expect anybody to purchase one of these. Okay, but it's nice to know that there's a knockoff or a clone available. And the price difference, I'll tell you, it's pretty extreme. And to my surprise, the quality between the two are very similar. Okay, price-wise, just to give you an idea, here in the United States, they sell the Bergeon vise anywhere from about $250 to $275 US. Okay, where I got this clone from was, I actually got it from a watch tools and parts distributor called Cousins UK, obviously in the United Kingdom. And they sell this clone, and in converted to US dollars, it's about $50.
Wow.
So, that's pretty extreme. So, yeah, sure, the Bergeon is a little tad better quality made vise. It's made in Switzerland. But is it worth the $200 plus difference? I don't think so, unless you really want that high quality. So, and to my surprise, I'm really surprised when I purchased this about 7 to 8 years ago. So one of the things I'd be really curious is if anybody has one of these clones, I'd be curious if within that time period, 7, 8 years, if you've recently purchased your clone, I'd be curious if it looks similar to this one, if they've made any changes.
Let's get a really good shot then so we can share it, huh? They really do look a lot alike. I've seen some knockoffs. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Go ahead and rotate them there. Yeah, let's go around and around. Yeah, like you say. Look at the shiny handle on the right.
Yeah. Well, remember, I've had this Bergeon for quite a while, too. Probably about this. I think I bought them around the same time period. That's why
they're almost a decade old or so then.
Yeah, but this one kept shiny for some reason. But you can see, look how similar they are. Let's go in the back.
Okay.
And what's interesting is, I was just really, when I had purchased these two back then, I was really curious if I handed these two vises to people, if they could tell the difference between the expensive one and the clone. And okay, obviously, I didn't do this test to a watchmaker because a watchmaker would immediately look at the Bergeon brand name and say, okay, that's a better one. Okay, but I've shown it to people that were machinists, people that are aware of a good quality tool. And I did to a few people, and surprisingly, they had a hard time distinguishing between the Swiss-made one and then the clone. The clone, if I remember correctly, I actually believe it's made in India. If not India, definitely from China. But if you're curious. So even if made in China or India, I'm really impressed with the quality because what I would expect in a quality vise like this is I would expect nice smooth action, which this has. I would expect the jaws to be perfectly parallel, which they are. If I go close,
and they're still removable, isn't that right? Aren't they?
Yeah,
both models are removable.
Yeah, And yeah, and these are perfectly parallel. I mean, it's really, but if you really focus on them, you know, you can definitely tell a little bit better quality in the Brejon. But again, you know, is it worth that extra price? Okay, for us, just give you our personal opinion about it. For our workshop, because, you know, we're working on precision parts and you know, we're servicing watches, we need that precision. We would not install anything but a Brejon in here. But outside the workshop, like our machine shop, this would be a perfect solution where I wouldn't want to spend $250 plus.
Oh, so you mean I can use it out in the machine shop to get some real work done?
Exactly. Because, you know, come on, I don't think, I mean, if I installed one of these in the machine shop, God, I'd be almost afraid to use it out there.
Yeah.
But for a $50 vise, I think it's a perfect solution. If you weren't a watchmaker or working on little micro precision parts, I think this is a good alternative. So that's why I want to share that. Oh, one thing, there is one difference too. For some reason, the only difference I could tell is the plates that you mount on the desk or the bench, they're different. They're slightly different. See where this will slide on, you know, easy. Like that. Okay, there's a slight difference where this one won't slide on. Yeah, see they made the T nut a little different. It's a little larger, so it won't slide in here. Okay, when you buy this vise, it comes with one plate, but it's good to know that, you know, if you have both of these vices in your workshop, the plate isn't going to be interchangeable.
Yeah, you can't take a job clamped in it and move it to another workstation and go, oh, just plug it in. Not going to happen.
Right. But in both cases, you know, when you purchase either vise, it comes with one plate, and you can buy additional plates for either vise. And I think the plates are about $30. And surprisingly, this is what's really funny is the plates for both vices are about the same price, $30, even though the clone is about $50 and this one's $250.
So you just buy another clone. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 there.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Well, that's great. And I look forward to my new addition in the machine shop.
That's right.
I'm already thinking about taking it right now.
I think that's where its new home's going to be. Okay, we're outside the workshop again, and Lance has an update on the doors.
Hey, I do. Welcome back. All right, let's get at it. Okay, maybe a little tip along the way. First of all, let me start with what we're working with. This is where we stopped off. I was going to install this seal on this double door here because we get high weathers and this high winds, and we get high heat directly on the door, and we get the cyclone effect here from the dust and the dirt at 30 miles an hour plus. That's what we get. We get it pretty much a lot. It's a desert. Right. Okay. So I've installed this seal now. Just my little tip for you guys. First of all, this is the first set of double doors Patrick and I ever installed. We installed these doors. We've done single doors, but these were double doors, and it's the first ones we ever did because when we got this house, it was abandoned, had no doors. It was like a dog kennel or something out here, wasn't it?
Right, it was really dirty and messy. Yeah.
But it was a permitted room. So we took the permitted room and we started working on it. Before we did the James Hardie's concrete siding, we went ahead and reframed this door, and then we put these double doors in, and you know, weather's getting to us, it's been 2 years. So I'm putting these seals. There is if you guys are into industrial look, it's coming, okay? I'm gonna do an industrial look to this door. It's almost gonna look like a mine shaft. I think you're gonna like it. It's a little bit of a subtle look.
Right.
So, isn't that nice? Want me to show you how it goes?
Yeah. Oh, here, let me take a backup shot.
Yeah, don't get too close. You might see my flaws. Okay. There's one on each side, and you know, my little tip is, I've been saying it 3 times. Here's my tip. These are level, so you know, they're level to the world, but not always their doors themselves are level to the frame. So we always want to make sure you double check your measurement from this to this lip out here on this metal. This is a metal cover, just so you know. Cover, and we matched it, and so it was actually perfect. And of course, because we put this in, it was actually level to the earth.
Right.
Pretty cool. Okay, let's open it up. a little bit. This is how we get deliveries, right? That's how we bring in a machine or take one out.
Right.
That's how the Barker got in here for sure.
Yeah, these aren't doors that we open all the time. Only we have to bring in equipment or something.
And I love wood. I'm just going to open it real quick. I don't want to waste a lot of time because I'm not in the wood business. But I'm proud to share. So I got these seals on here. They're really good. They come together. They've solved the gap problem where we were getting a little bit of dust through at the top and the very bottom. Only under really high winds we get the silt.
Yes.
But what I had to do to make the top, if you notice, I extended these above the door top here. You see my finger?
Yeah.
I took them as high as I could get them and still keep them under the PVC trim work. This is my PVC trim work. So I kept it under that, but right at the door, so you see when it goes, I got this gap. Now this door is the lock door, not the regular door. It's the, what do they call it, the secondary door, right, on a double door.
That's right. This is the one that you lock it from the top and bottom.
Yeah, I got the levers.
Right.
Okay. Well, so what I had to do on just this side is this door, to match its pins, I had to notch this out. Don't zoom in too close, Patrick. It's okay. I just finished painting it. What I love is I painted it about 20 minutes ago, and it's already as dry as solid as a rock.
Right.
Welcome to the desert. Anyway, I just want to share. Right? That's my...
Yeah, it came out really good. It's going to really help with the silt that we get.
Yeah. But it's going to get... This is just phase 1. Phase 2 is coming. Right?
That's
I got
right.
phase 2. You guys are going to get this industrial kind of like look. I hope you like it. I'm going to order all the supplies right now. I think I'm going to order them tomorrow, right? I've given you the list.
That's right.
We'll order, and it's coming from a big box store and a few other places. It's going to be a really neat framing system. It's going to be a real nice security system while it's at it, which I don't want, but I don't need here. But I'm going to put it anyway, and it's got a special sealing to it, which is going to just be a double down on this door to protect it for a lot longer period of time to come. Okay, so thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to add.
What you got?
Let's just close this.
We have to adjust.
What's really nice about these is you could adjust these, the brushes. So, and you see the screws on the side right here?
Yeah, allows this goes.
So you can adjust those to go in or out.
This goes in or out here, say.
That's right.
And go.
And the other thing is what's really nice is the brushes are easily replaceable. They're really cheap. So if we want, especially with our dry weather, it just beats up everything. We can easily replace them every season if we want to, and they're really inexpensive.
It looks like it's just a felt set into a plastic strip, and then you just cut it to the length you want and drop it down through the slot, and he's going to glue them in top and bottom a little bit.
Yeah, just so they stay secure in there.
Anyway, so this is done, right?
Yeah, job done.
So now I can't hide from the grass hut. Why do I want to? Oh, because of Gilligan's Island. The grinding hut any longer. I've got 3 more sidings to do on the outside, so I'm going to probably look at starting that this week, even though I've got other work to do. I think I can squeeze a little in.
Yeah, just wrap that up.
So that I can throw the electrical at Pat and tell him, get that wire pulled out there. I'm ready to get her done. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Okay, bye. Okay, we are out to see Patrick about a Cyclone.
Yes, we are, finally. Yeah, we were waiting for some parts to come in. That's why we had a little delay, but we're ready to move forward on it, so let's get started. First of all, let me tell you about this vacuum. In case you haven't seen a vacuum cleaner like this is what they call a workshop vacuum cleaner. And these are used very commonly in the jeweler trade, watchmakers. Some watchmakers use them, we use them. And anybody who's working like in an indoor clean environment, but they're doing, they're cutting, polishing, they're doing something like with a rotary tool.
Yeah, anywhere where they're creating grit and grime and little fragments and fibers and.
See, in our case, that'd be a detriment to our environment. Because especially when you're polishing with those cotton buffs, that stuff flies everywhere. So how we use it really quickly is, we plug one into the vacuum cleaner, and then we use this attachment like this. And then what you do is you just lay this on the table and you just work right in front of it. So when you're, if you're cutting, buffing, polishing, doing whatever, all that debris and all that gets sucked in and keeps the environment super clean. So it works really well. Okay, there is an issue with it. Before I get to that, the advantage of using one of these, because they are a lot more expensive than your conventional vacuum cleaner. So why would you use one of these? Okay, well, biggest advantage is it's super quiet. You know, you could use this on an 8-hour shift and it won't drive you crazy like a vacuum cleaner. Like a typical vacuum cleaner, I think after a half an hour or an hour for sure would drive you nuts.
When you start doing that day in and day out at a workstation, you're just you're done with it.
Yeah, and see here, not only is it super quiet, it's well insulated, it's quiet, but it also has a variable speed. So you can dial in just the speed you need, so it even gets more quieter. So, and you'll hear it when we get everything assembled. So that's the biggest advantage. The biggest advantage is it's super quiet, and the performance is really good. Okay, so, but there's an issue with it. The issue being is, for some reason, it uses a little tiny bag.
Yeah, see the two little knobs in the front? That's how you get in that bag and replace it, right?
That's right. Here, should I just open it?
Yeah, so they can see how peddly the little thing is. You can't see without opening it to see how it's doing.
Right, so that's the thing. There's no identifier to let you know how full the bag is, for one. And because it's so tiny, see, that's the entire bag right there. So as you can see, it's like one of those freezer bags, this plastic bags. See,
That's a good analysis. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's it.
So as you can see, it easily, if you use it for other purposes, especially, it'll fill up really quickly. So that's been one of the disadvantages. So we thought, you know, if there was another solution, we would utilize this so much more. Well, it happens that one day I was on a company's website called Fordham, and they make rotary tools.
Well, that's funny. I thought it said spend your money here.
No.
It's called Fordham. Oh, okay.
Not affordable Fordham. But anyway, so they came out with a new product that looks really similar to this, but they did something. They made an enhancement to it that I thought was great, and the enhancement is this little miniature Cyclone.
Anybody worked with woodworking and worked in a big wood factory? That's the little babyish version of that, I guess.
Exactly. It's like one of those really large ones, but it's a little meanie.
Usually they're mounted on the outside of the building on those.
Yeah, and it's made really well. The Cyclone part is all metal, so it'll last a long time. Okay, and the bottom part, this is what catches all the large, debris. It's clear plastic, which is great because you'll be able to visually see, how much.
No hidden bag or anything. Yeah, no mysteries.
Yeah, no mystery, no guessing. You'll see right here. And to dump it's really easy. Just three little clamps.
That's really neat.
And then it pops out. So when I saw it on their website, I thought, wow, great, that's a great solution. But the problem is I didn't want to buy their whole solution, because especially when I already have a vacuum cleaner, because these aren't cheap. I don't want to buy a second one just to get the Cyclone. So I contacted Fordham and asked them if I could purchase the Cyclone as a replacement part. And to my surprise, well, at first it was kind of funny. They said yes. I called them. They said no, we don't offer the part. Then I don't know why. And then after some talking, then they said, oh yeah, we do offer it. So I'm not sure what was with that. So it was under a couple $100. So for under a couple $100, I got this in. And we're really happy because we think one of the things we'll be able to use this on is...
Now that's just for the Cyclone, though.
Yeah, just for the Cyclone.
That's just for that one canister right there, because that box came in. That was a couple $100, yeah.
Right, just this. Under a couple $100, just the ship to us.
But having that for the ability is unbelievable.
Yeah, because see, now, if we want, we'll be able to use it on a lathe, for example. If we want to, use it to vacuum up all the little chips. See, we don't have to be afraid of filling up that little bag right away. So it's going to be a great solution for us. But here's the problem. So I ordered this came in, and what we're going to do, all we need to do is, we just need to, so it has 4 mounting holes right there. I guess it has these 2, but we're going to use these 4 holes.
We don't use the sloppy pegs.
Yeah, not the sloppy pegs. So we just need to drill 4 holes onto the side and install it right here. And that's how the Fordham unit, that's what they did to their solution. So we're just going to follow the same method. So we're going to install it just like that. Okay? But when this came in, we ran into a problem because I thought, okay, well, now that we have this, okay, the hose you're going to be using plugs into the front like this, but now we need some type of connection from the top of this to the vacuum. Okay, the first problem is we got this connection which follows the shop vac standard, but then we got this little intake that more follows the conventional vacuum.
Your household vacuum.
Yeah, your household vacuum. So I said, so first of all, we have to resolve that problem. So after some researching, I found a little converter adapter. So this just slips on over here like this. And see, now we have two matching shop vac standard plugs. See, just to show you, see, this plugs in just like that. Okay, but now we have another problem. Once that came in, I go, okay, great, one solution solved, but now how do we get from here to there? Okay, what I didn't want to do, obviously, is I don't want to buy another hose and connect it like this, because then we'd have this hose in the way. So I did some...
That's kind of bulky.
Yeah, kind of bulky.
I mean, it'd be all right if it was mounted on the wall somewhere up from the unit, but yeah.
Right. So I want something more cleaner. So I found this product, and this is really interesting. It's just like this hose. It has the same type of connections, but this is pretty neat. This, you pull it to get the length, only the length you need. So the length stays really short, and you just pull the length you need, which is really nice. So let me just give a quick demonstration.
Yeah, look at how nice.
See?
All tucked up inside of itself.
See, isn't that going to be a nice clean solution?
It is.
So, and this is what we are waiting on. This was the last part. This took about over a week to get, and we just received it. So we're ready. So now that we have this part, we can now mount this and get this project completed.
Oh, great.
So that's what we're going to do off camera. Lance and I are going to go ahead, mark the holes, drill them, fasten this, and then we're going to come back and then we'll go ahead and, complete the installation, and we're going to give it a test run.
Stick around. Don't miss this demo. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Oh, man, I hope it works.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Wow, just a little interim update will be what this is for the little Cyclone.
Yes. Yeah, we thought we'd share with you how it looks like inside. We just took the cover off, and we thought, hey, you know what? It'd be pretty interesting to show everybody how it looks like. How do they get this to run so quiet? Well, let me show you. It's pretty interesting. Let me show you the air path. So as you can see, so the suction's right here. So the air goes through here, goes through the bag. Okay, so the airflow comes under here, gets pulled by the vacuum motor. See, then the airflow comes out here, through here, goes through this charcoal box, goes back out, and outside the unit. And this is really interesting. That's what this is. This is a replaceable charcoal filter. Okay, it just has a really cheap filter on top, and then it has a charcoal filter on the bottom. And you don't have to, fortunately, this doesn't get dirty. This does a pretty good job in collecting all the dust and everything. And then this, you're only supposed to replace it just periodically.
Especially the way that you have to get it, the way you have to go through to get it out of there, yeah.
Exactly.
Here's that door.
Oh, as you can see, but you can see what they did. So not only did they create all these paths, but they put this insulation everywhere. Okay, even on the door, okay, this is the door that gets fastened on the side right here. See, on the other side, see, there's a really thick, well, the door, this is really thick gauge steel, plus they put really thick padding.
And it's that door that we're going to mount the Cyclone to, huh?
That's right. The Cyclone's going to mount right to this door right here. So there's not going to be any anything interfering with it.
That's so nice.
So that's it. Yeah. So what we thought we'd share with you, because it is a really interesting design, and that's how they keep it running quiet.
Great. Okay, Patrick.
Okay.
We'll go back and we'll see you shortly.
Okay. Great.
Okay, we are back with Patrick with the Cyclone update. I think we're on a final wrap-up of it.
We are. And, yeah, this went on pretty straightforward. You know, we just, as you saw, we opened it up for you, and you saw the air path it takes. So what we did is we just aligned it just to be sure, you know, there's no obstruction. And it went together pretty easy.
It's got 4 perfect cap screws, don't they? Those M5s right there.
Of course, we use metric fasteners. And, yeah, I always buy block fasteners. You know, when I have to order fasteners, being washers, nuts, anything, I always get them black oxide just because they look a lot better, I think. And but anyway, let's go ahead and complete the installation. Okay, so the Cyclone's all secured, very solid, so that went really well. It looks good.
Got plenty of room to take the bin off the bottom. We tested that.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Nice and tight. Okay.
And that new hose sure is tidy.
Yeah, what a great find. Okay, that's really nice and feels good, nice and tight. Looks good. Oh, now let's plug the hose in. Oh, okay. We're gonna use Italian pasta to test it.
Okay, hold on. Mother warning here. Mom, I know you're our #1 fan and you watch this show. These are imported Italian pasta, and we know we're not supposed to waste food.
So please forgive us.
Yeah, before you call. Okay.
Okay, let's see, let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, 20 pieces of pasta.
Got one rolling away over there. Don't let it get.
Okay. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay. Sounds good. Still quiet. Yeah, very quiet. And so it gets really like adjusted to being really quiet.
Has a nice variable speed controller on it. It's really easy.
Oh yeah, I hear him. You can hear him going in a circle.
They're pretty light, so.
Yeah, they're pretty light. That's why they're staying up there. Okay, let's see.
Okay, your magic number should have been 20.
Okay. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
Perfect.
With some pieces. Perfect. Yeah, as you can see, it comes off really easy.
Just as long as when you install it, you leave enough room for it to drop.
Yeah.
That's a little hint.
There, and just really nice and secure and tight. Yeah.
What a beautiful vacuum it is now. It's really useful to us now.
Yeah, and the insulation, see, now it's all nice and clean. It almost looks like it belongs to it. You wouldn't think it was an aftermarket accessory. So yeah, that was a great addition.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you leave us one of those comments, maybe we have something we can answer. We will never leave a question unanswered. Thank you.